everyone, it's Michaela, and today I'm going to be talking about keeping a balance in your life, particularly between studies and personal matters in life. Foremost, the three components of a balanced lifestyle, I believe, are social matters, which include relationships, whether platonic or not, and then also spending time with family. Really anything in which you have to give time to others, whether it's doing favors or upkeeping relationships. And then second is actional matters, which are activities, I guess you could call it. Anything that pertains to an activity you have to do, whether it's a hobby that you choose and you enjoy doing, or it's a work duty and something you're employed to do, or a club, community service, anything that's an activity. And then finally is personal matters, which involve anything about health, whether it's mental health or physical health. Anything that you need to do to keep your own personal self happy and motivated. So the three parts, again, are social, actional, and personal. But the question is, how do we keep a balance between these three when we're juggling so much in our lives? How can we be expected to attain perfection in all three of these when each one demands so much of our time and there's only 24 hours in each day? This is the whole point of having a balanced life, because we are fallible as humans, and there's no reason whatsoever that we should be expected to have perfection in any of these categories. I want to go back to last February, before COVID started, when life was normal, how I kept my life balanced. I had a lot going on at that time. I mostly managed to keep a balance, I think, by looking ahead to the future was my main thing, like keeping in mind, why am I working for this? What am I working towards? Why am I doing this right now? And I think that helped me the most. So I guess that's going to be my first tip, is look ahead to the future and remind yourself, why are you doing each of these things? You know, are you playing violin because you want to get better? Are you doing your schoolwork because you want to get into a good college? Ask yourself why you're doing these things. And if you don't have a good answer and you feel like you're not working towards anything with it, then maybe reconsider where you should be prioritizing it in your time and see if you can balance your time better by putting what you're working towards at the forefront of your objectives each day, rather than the stuff that's more of time fillers or busy work. Second, take the time to get out a pen and paper and map out what you'd like your balanced lifestyle to look like. Everyone is different, so you can't say that you need to have a third of your time for personal matters, a third for social, and a third for actional. It really depends on how much you have for each one and how much you'd like to spend in each time. So really write down each thing and see how long the list is, see what you need to be spending more time on. And again, no one's going to look the same. So if your friend is spending a ton of time on personal matters and you feel bad that you're not getting that much, don't worry if you're not doing as much, as long as you feel like you are healthy physically and mentally. Everyone is different. In addition, once you have your paper with personal matters in a list underneath, actional in a list, social in a list, then go through and highlight everything on those lists that you want to prioritize. So then when you go through and schedule things out, you know what you should be focusing on, which is a good segue into my next tip, which is actually scheduling. So get a planner and write down everything you need to do. If you don't write down the things, you're going to find yourself going to bed having not done it, because you're going to neglect it and say, oh, I can just do it tomorrow. Tomorrow is just going to keep on being tomorrow, and then it never happens. Writing things down will help you to actually accomplish it. Number 3 is very difficult to do. Advocate for yourself. Learn how to say no, basically, which I hate doing. If someone asks you a favor and you don't have the time or energy to do it, you just have to say no. At the very least, delegate it to someone else. But if you want to have a balanced lifestyle, you can't keep doing things that are eating up your time that you don't have time in the day for. Sometimes by doing this, you might feel like you're letting down someone or letting down yourself even. But if you step down from one activity, it might be the boost you need to stay on top of all 20 of your other duties. So the small sacrifices can help you stay balanced with everything else, and it makes such a huge difference. Now, this next part is about optimism, which isn't exactly a choice. Optimism is something you kind of have to learn. It's not something you just wake up and say, okay, today I'm going to be positive. It doesn't work like that. Mindsets don't work like that. But if you can, try to look towards everything in the most positive outlook that you can. It's just going to make all the difference, because outlooks are self-fulfilling prophecies. What I mean by this is what you expect to happen is more likely to happen than what you're not expecting. It's called the Pygmalion Effect. If you have high expectations for yourself, you're going to have high performance. If you don't expect much out of yourself, you're going to have low performance. So if you go into your schedule and look at your balanced life triangle thing and say, I can do this, I know how to do this, it's all going to work out, you're more likely to actually keep that balanced lifestyle and do all the tasks you need to do than if you feel like you can't do it. Also, just in general, your day is going to be 10 times better if you are feeling good about it than if you're not. So if you can, try to keep an optimistic outlook and really focus on the good things and not the bad things, and it's going to help you do better. Another important thing is to understand your stress and where it's coming from. And when you are feeling stress, it's really critical to sit down and think about where it's coming from. Address the stress. I did not mean for that to rhyme, but it sounds like a slogan. Anyway, let's say you've always loved playing soccer and you've been doing it since you were 5. It's the favorite part of your day, but lately you just don't like it because it's stressing you out. That's probably a sign that you have too much going on in your life and you're not able to devote enough time to keeping a balanced lifestyle. So what you need to be doing is looking at what you can take out of your schedule so that you have more free time and thereby make it more fun to play soccer. Fun things only become stressful when your life is unbalanced. So it's basically a warning sign that you need to reevaluate your priorities and what you might not need to be doing that you already are, just to make yourself have more free time. This one's probably obvious, but utilize your time well. Use up any free time you have to get done things in your balanced life triangle, whether it's a personal matter, actional, or social. This goes back to the compromises too. If you want to have good grades, you might miss out on some social opportunities. But this is, again, using your time well. You have to decide, how do I want to spend this evening tonight? Do I want to go to a party or do I want to work on the homework? And go back to what you want to have balanced in your life and decide, what do I need to focus on? If you feel like you have no friends right now, maybe go to that party and make some new friends. But if you feel like you're failing in all your classes, then spend the time on the homework. So really understanding what you need to be prioritizing is a huge part of having a balanced lifestyle. Another thing about using your time well is, again, taking out things you don't need to necessarily be doing, such as dropping a class. And I think that with dropping classes, there is a stigma because we feel like we're failing when we drop a class. I feel like I'm failing if I drop a class. But really, we shouldn't be feeling like that because it doesn't mean that you have done badly. It just means that you're refocusing your attention from 5 classes and you're spread thin to 4 classes, and you're able to get better grades in each of those 4 classes, and you're able to put in more quality work for those. So don't look at it as a bad thing if you have to drop something in your life. Just look at it as you're utilizing your time better than you were before. Lastly, and most importantly, always make time for personal matters. Always. Having good mental health and good physical health is a prerequisite to balancing the rest of your life. You cannot have balanced actional and social matters if you do not have balanced health. Remember that by giving time to yourself, you're inadvertently helping yourself with your schoolwork. You're inadvertently helping yourself with your relationships, because you can't properly pay attention to those if you don't feel good inside. And with that being said, I also want to add just some bonus tips, I guess, for keeping up your personal matters and making sure that you do have good mental and physical health. First is journaling, which I think is especially a good option if you don't really like talking to others as much. And again, this is just a completely personal preference. Some people do prefer talking to others, some people prefer journaling. But personally, I would recommend journaling because I think it just helps me. Second is eating intuitively. That is, don't restrict yourself if you're craving a food. And then also make sure you're eating enough nutrients as well, because I think that this is the best way that you can have a healthy eating lifestyle. Therefore, you'll have more energy and you'll just feel better going throughout your day. Also, exercising, whether you like to do walking or you like to do a full cardio workout, as long as you're moving a little bit during the day, just do whatever makes you happy. Don't worry if some people are doing 2 hours of workouts and you're only doing 15 minutes. Literally just do what makes you happy, and as long as you're getting in that moving time, it works for you and you're going to have a more balanced lifestyle. Get enough sleep. This also varies from person to person, so just if you don't feel tired throughout the day, you're getting enough sleep. If you're feeling tired, then try getting an extra hour and see where you go from there. Lastly, I feel like everyone probably knows already, but I'm just going to be another reminder from your local small YouTuber. Don't drink and don't do drugs, because it's not worth it and it's not going to help you balance your time anymore. It's only going to waste your time and it's going to make it harder to focus on relationships, grades, etc. And especially mental and physical health. I know that school can get really, really intense and stressful when you're trying to balance all these things, but if you are able to prioritize and use these takeaways that I've said in this video, I hope that it becomes easier to balance your life. I hope that you can find that peace within your own life, that you feel like you are devoting enough time to all three of those parts of the triangle. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more academic videos, vlogs, and other content like that. And I wish you the best of luck in keeping your life balanced.